Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy Titty, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on week 16. Boom, guys, for your playoffs. Let's get these stubs. Let's go. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. So, guys, with no further ado, I'm not going to hold you up. I'm going to get through this. If you have any questions, make sure you spam the chat and let me know whatever questions you may have. I'm going to try to go live Saturday morning before the games. So make sure you hit me up. Y'all let me know. I might do a poll. Let me know what time you think I should go live Saturday before the games. It's up to y'all. But before we get started, let's talk about a little bit about the news. I know we got a couple guys out. So let's see here. What do we have? Okay, let's see here. All right. So DeAndre Swift status is in question for. All right, guys. Can you see if? Hold up. Okay, guys. I just saw something. What's going on? Me having my internet on, trying to read out this. Okay. So hopefully, am I good, guys? Let me know in the chat that I'm good. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, RG? Can you hear me, Dean James? Can you hear me, Frizz? Thank you, RG. Okay. So guys, 90 minutes. They're gonna announce 90 minutes before kickoff. They got the 8 o'clock game for the Chicago Bears. They're gonna announce if he's gonna play or not. Thank you, Dean James. So they're gonna announce if he's gonna play or not. So be careful. If you got Kyle Managa out, I think this is the game that you start him, no matter if DeAndre Swift is active or not. The Bears are in a playoff run, so they don't want to run Swift in the ground. They might need him for the first week of the playoffs. But I think Managa is going to get majority of the carries. But if you got Swift, make sure you're watching the news and reading up on it every day, every couple hours, just to see what's going on in case something happens that you can make a waiver wire move. I don't want you to wait till the last minute to make that waiver wire move. Luther Burton will be out. Rome Odunze is out. So Colston Loveland, if you got Colston Loveland, that's a good play this week. DJ Moore is get ready to ball out. DJ Moore is going to have a great game this week. He's the only really wide receiver there that you can trust with being out, Luther Burton. So I love DJ Moore this week. He's a top 12 wide receiver. Trent McDuffie for the Kansas City Chiefs, which is making me nervous. I have the Kansas City defense going against the Tennessee Titans, who's giving it up behind the dumpster. I'm getting worried about the Tennessee defense. They may sit a couple of their studs, which makes me nervous. CeeDee Lamb missed practice. I think that could be a maintenance issue, so I wouldn't worry about that. Start CeeDee Lamb if you have CeeDee Lamb. Ricky Pearsall did not practice. I don't think he's going to play. It's the same knee. He messed it up again. I don't think Ricky Pearsall plays anymore through the regular season. T. Higgins showed up for practice today, so I like Joe Burrow. And just to go ahead and give y'all a little bit of caveat, Joe Burrow is going to be my quarterback boom of the week, but we will get to that list very soon. But yes, I love with T. Higgins playing and Jamar Chase, they're trying to upset somebody's season. They don't want nobody else making the playoffs that they got to play. So I like T. Higgins and I like Jamar Chase and I like Joe Burrow this week. Rashid Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs may not play. I would be very nervous about playing Rashid Rice. He did not practice today. I don't think he's going to play for the rest of the season. Why would you? Y'all not going to make the playoffs. Actually, I'm sorry, guys. T. Higgins showed up for practice, but he did not practice. This is something extra. He showed up for practice, but he did not practice. Lamar Jackson back at practice today. If you got Lamar Jackson, you suit him up, play him. Tech McMillan for the Carolina Panthers back at practice today. Woody Marks is not practicing today. So if you can go pick up Jawad Jordan, go pick up Jordan. Go pick him up right now and just hold him on your rosters until you see what's going on with Woody. I don't know if Woody's going to play. Pat Mahomes is eyeing week 1 of next year. I don't think that knee injury really matters to him. He's a quarterback. He still will be able to move like he's been moving. He's not a Lamar Jackson type. He just runs when he can. I think Pat Mahomes is going to be fine. So buy the dip in Dynasty if you want to. David Njoku misses another practice. Dylan Sampson for the same team misses another practice. That is the tight end, and that's the backup running back. They both missed practice. Dalton Kincaid remains sidelined for Thursday. So if you have Dalton Kincaid, looks like, I don't know if he's going to play or not, so you're just going to have to keep, looking, maybe pick up Dawson Knox if you want to wait till the last minute, or maybe you got another better backup quarterback. I mean, not quarterback, but a backup tight end. And Josh Jacobs. I think he was limited in practice today. Josh Jacobs. So that's all I have right now, guys. Let's get to the list. Like I said, if you got any questions, put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. Appreciate everybody being here. We got 46 people in the chat. We got 6 likes. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Let's get the likes up. Okay, so the first person that I want to talk about is going to be the quarterback position for Boom Player of the Week. It's going to be Joe Burrow. It's going to be Joe Burrow. And listen, they playing against the Miami Dolphins with a backup quarterback. I think that only helps the offensive side for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm pretty sure they're not going to give up another 0. Go up there and go play for another 0. I don't think that's happening with Joe Burrow. I think they have at least 21 points this week. So I'm playing Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow, and I'm gonna play them till the wheels fall off. Joe Burrow is my Boom Player of the Week. You know what Joe Burrow does. He likes to push the ball downfield to Jamar Chase. It's hard to sit there. Anybody that played Joe Burrow last week, you did not make a bad decision. Just want you to know that. You cannot wait for the points to say if you made a good decision or a bad decision. You have to look at it for what it's worth when you make that decision. And Joe Burrow was a great play last week. And I'm going to go back to that well again and play Joe Burrow if I have. I'm going against the Miami Dolphins. Moving on to my running back boom of the week. My running back boom of the week is going to be Saquon Barkley. We all know to play him, but who's going to boom? I think Saquon has a great chance to boom. They are trying to establish the line of scrimmage. They're trying to establish the run. They know in order for them to win a Super Bowl, Saquon has to get going. So I told y'all all year long, I don't hear nobody else talking about A.J. Brown. Why? Just because, you don't think he suck anymore? It's not about these guys sucking. It's got to understand game script. So the game script was hurting A.J. Brown. Now that they starting to get rolling, you see Saquon being implemented and you see A.J. Brown. Those are the 2 best players on the offensive side of the ball. That tells me that the Eagles can win another Super Bowl. So I love Saquon Barkley going against a division robber, which is the Washington Commanders. So play Saquon Barkley. Moving on to my wide receiver boom of the week. As you can tell, it's this guy right here. That guy is Nico Collins. And they playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, who's giving it up behind the dumpster. They are giving it up behind the dumpster. So listen, guys, play Nico Collins. Him and C.J. Stroud should go off. Now listen, I didn't put C.J. Stroud as my quarterback boom player of the week. Why? Because I made him my star of the week. But guys, he easily could be a boom quarterback of the week. So I actually like C.J. Stroud, maybe even a little bit better than Joe Burrow. But you got to understand, I have to circumvent the videos. I can't be redundant and say the same players because I could just name everybody that I said starred. They're going to be a boom player. No. The boom player is usually a guy that I think can get into the top 5. That's the difference between start of the week is top 24 and boom of the week is top 5. What's going on, Hennessy Black? What's going on, Dean James Talley, RG, Frizz? Appreciate you guys being here. Okay, so let's move on to my tight end start of the week, guys. It's going to be Brock Bowers. Yes, Brock Bowers, guys. And listen, the reason why I got him on my boom player of the week, I know Brock can go off against a tough matchup. And also, I want to give you a confidence booster. Maybe I should do a different video and say, well, these are confidence booster videos. Maybe next year I'll start doing a confidence booster video where players that got very, very tough matchups and you kind of indifferent about the player because maybe he hasn't been playing well for the last few weeks and he's getting ready to go up against a tough matchup. Maybe I need to give a confidence booster. So this is what this is. Brock Bowers, don't get cute and go to no Kobe Parkinson. Don't get cute and go to no Colston Loveland. You play Brock. You dance with the girl that you came to the party with. Dance with the girl that you came to the party with. Because if you start going around dancing with everybody, you know what when it's time to go home, you know who you're going home with? You're going home with your right hand. I said what I said. You're going home with your right hand because you've been trying to spread yourself thin. Don't spread yourself thin. Go down with your ship and dance with the girl that you came to the party with. So I like Brock Bowers going against the Houston Texans. I think Trey McBride had a good game against the Houston Texans. Now I get it. Jacoby Brissett can target Trey McBride at an elite level. Now, hopefully Geno Smith can come back because I believe that he can target Brock Bowers at an elite level better than Kenny Pickens can. So I love Brock Bowers. Let's go to my flex play of the week, guys. And this guy's going to be A.D. Mitchell from the New York Jets going against the New Orleans Saints. Now, listen, Tyrod Taylor might play. That's why I really love A.D. Mitchell. Guys, A.D. Mitchell, go buy him right now in Dynasty. Go buy A.D. Mitchell right now in Dynasty. I'm telling you now. Go buy A.D. Mitchell because I believe he's going to be a boom player coming into next year. Now, they might, yes, Garrett Wilson is coming back, but I love a number 2 like a A.D. Mitchell to get him as a value pick. You're going to be able to get these wide receivers for the Jets next year as a value. Go buy low on Garrett Wilson right now, guys. This is just like the stock market. When things tend to go down and you know they've been good in the past, go ahead and buy it because it's going to come back up and probably go even higher. All right, and then my DST boom play of the week is going to be the Houston Texans going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, I do got Brock Bowers as a boom player, but that just because he boomed doesn't mean that the Houston Texans defense can't boom. So you can have a great tight end outing, and the defense still play well on the other team. So yes, so Joe Burrow, Saquon, Nico Collins, Brock Bowers, A.D. Mitchell, and the Houston defense is my boom play of the week. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Appreciate everybody being in here. We got King Sirius in here. We got Intelligente. We got Hennessy Black. Appreciate everybody being in here. Frizz, first one in the building, says Colin, Stroud, or Rodgers this week. Caitlin, I'm sorry. I'm going with Stroud, and that's easy. I'm going with Stroud. Co1135 says they should sign Tyler Lockett if they want to even grasp the concept of a playoff run. Got you. Hennessy Black says, I know I have to start ETN, but he's due for 5 points. Start Mike Evans instead or on Worthy. Start Goddard, Juwan Johnson, or Waller. So for the tight ends, I would start Waller over those guys. I would rather Tua be starting, but I still would go with Waller. Juwan Johnson has a little bit of a safer floor than Waller, but I still like Waller for his upside. So if you want safe floor, you can go with Juwan Johnson. If you want the upside, you can go with Waller. But Goddard is dice. It's like throwing dice. You don't know what it's going to turn over. He can have 5 points or he can have 25 points. That's how this offense runs. The Juwan Johnson and the Waller, I can gauge them. Nobody can gauge Goddard. Not even the offensive coordinator for the Eagles can gauge Goddard. You just it's kind of got to flow. But the rest of the guys are going to get real true targets. Waller, how many targets with yours out there? I don't know. But I like his upside. Far as Mike Evans or ETN, man, Mike Evans got to be started. It's at the end of the season. Baker Mayfield is going to hyper-target him. So I'm going to go with Mike Evans. And I don't believe ETN is a sit. But when it comes to Mike Evans, you have to get Mike Evans into the game. Intelligente, he says, if the Saints are without Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal, estimate a good flex play depending on what you got. If you don't got nobody else, yes, he is a good flex play. It's just like asking, hey, is this girl is pretty? Bro, if you ain't got no other girl at this point in time and you going through a bad spot, that girl is pretty. You see what I'm saying? So beggars can't be choosers. But if you got a plenty, you can be a chooser. But beggars can't be choosers usually. So if you, like I said, this all depends on what your roster looks like if you want to play estimate or not. But he's going to get 10 to 15 attempts. So if you don't have nobody else, I think he's good. Reed, he said, what's up, TD? Goddard, Fannin for the tight end spot. Let's go with Fannin. Let me tell y'all something, guys. Go back into the comment section. I'm answering a lot of y'all questions, and y'all are saying that you're not getting it. I sent it. So if you're not getting me, if you're not seeing me respond to your question, hit me up at my email, and I'm going to send you a screenshot of what I see, and then you can send me a screenshot of what you see. That way I can balance it out, and I can call YouTube and try to get them to fix it if something is going on. But I am answering y'all questions, but some of you don't see it, so I don't know what's going on. But yes, guys, I would go with Fannin over Goddard. Cole 11 says Tyler Lockett going for 50 sneaky in the second quarter. I hope so. King Sirius says, is Matthew Golden a lottery ticket for Christian Watson if Christian Watson is sidelined? No, I can't trust no Green Bay wide receiver when Christian Watson is out. You would think it could be Jalen Reed. You would think it could be Matthew Golden. I don't trust nobody but Josh Jacobs. A little bit of Luke Musgrave and Jordan. I'm not trusting nobody. I'm trusting the quarterback, the running back, and no wide receivers. Youngberg says, what about Parkinson on the Rams with Adams out, bro? I like Parkinson, but I don't know how many targets he's going to get. They don't need Parkinson. You know what I'm saying? They could throw it to anybody else outside of Puka Nacua. So I don't want to rely on no Tutu. I don't want to rely on no Parkinson. If Parkinson is part of my team and I got a good supporting cast, I'm okay with playing Parkinson. But if you're going to be mad if Parkinson give you 5 points, I would not play him. Play Parkinson if you're okay with getting 5 points or better. Because don't get mad when he give you 5 or 6 and say he's supposed to have done better. No, he don't supposed to. This is not his offense. This is a Puka offense. This is a Kyron Williams, even more of a Blake Corum than Parkinson offense. Just because a tight end has 1.5 good weeks don't mean that you can start him in a fantasy football playoff, win or go home. Me, I'm about going down with the ship with people that I can trust, and whatever happens, I'm okay with it. But if I don't trust you, but I put you in anyway to get some boom, and it don't happen, I'm going to feel bad about it. That's just my 2 cents. Jazz, he says, what up, bro? I got a big question for you tonight. Who should I play at the tight end? Darren Waller, Kobe, Tyler Warren? As always, have a good night. Yes, I'm going with Tyler Warren. He's the safest one. Kobe Parkins has upside. Darren Waller has upside. But listen, Kobe Parkinson, if you want to play him and you okay with 5 points and you got a good supporting class, play him. I like his quarterback. That he probably got the best quarterback out of all these options. Darren Waller with yours, I am a little bit nervous about that. Tyler Warren's just safe. We know he's going to get 6 or 7 targets playing with Phillip Rivers. Is it going to be fantasy valuable or not, where it's going to be 10 or plus points? I don't know. I probably personally would go down with Warren, with Phillip Rivers at the quarterback position. Then I play Kobe Parkinson, because if Kobe Parkinson give me 5, I'm going to be angry. That's just me, though. That's just me. So I would go with Tyler Warren. King Sirius says that Houston DST is not on waivers in competitive leagues. Right. This is a boom play. Right? This is not a waiver video. I'm pretty sure you know that, King. I'm not getting on you anything. These people see. Let me see. I'm gonna name the other people that I said. It's never gonna be nobody on waivers off my boom. If it is, you better hurry up and go get that person. But Joe Burrow is not on waivers. Saquon Barkley is not on waivers. Nico Collins is not on waivers. Brock Bowers is not on waivers. A.D. Mitchell could be on waivers, but he's a flex play boom, right? That's why I went, flex play. Sometimes, not always, I might be, he could be on waivers, but I'm never going to try to go to the waiver guy for the boom week. Stars of the week, hell yeah. That's just confirmation. Dylan says, who you think is going to the Super Bowl? I would say the Eagles. The Eagles and the Ravens. I think the Ravens still can make the playoffs. I'm going to say the Eagles and the Ravens. Judah says Gaddison or Parkinson. I will go with Parkinson. Dean James Talley says running back stream this week. Charbonnet, Pacheco, Vidal, Kamara, or E. Hill, guy from New Orleans. I'm going with Charbonnet or Kamara. Charbonnet has a safe floor. Kamara, if I don't know if he's even going to play or not. He might not even play. They might have Audrey Extreme out there. But if Kamara is playing, I would play him. But I would say I would put Charbonnet over him. I think Charbonnet can have a goal line touchdown, but that still might give Charbonnet only 10 points. You know how Charbonnet scores a lot, but he don't get a lot of yards and a lot of catches. BC was the Kamara's projected points are at a 0 now. There was news that the Saints signed Nyheim Hines to the roster. I think that tells us something. Yes, but that Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, and Kamara coming off the injury, they got to get a body there. So I get that. But I like Charbonnet for Dean James Talley. And he says, pick one to stream, and also Tyler Algier or Jordan Mason. I will go with Jordan Mason on waivers. King Sirius says, is RJ Harvey risky due to the late game rib injury? It's not the injury, it's the matchup. It's the matchup. They playing against a tough defense too. That's going to be a tough defensive game. So that's the only thing I'm worried about, RJ Harvey. I'm not worried about the rib injury, especially as the Broncos scramble to claim Cody off waivers. Yeah, right. I get it. If I got RJ Harvey and I don't got nothing else better to play, I'm playing him. But if I have a good running back, not Charbonnet, not Kenneth Walker. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, I would play RJ Harvey. I'm trying to think of running back. Like, I'm playing him over Mason. I'm playing him over Aaron Jones. I'm playing it over Chuba Hubbard. I'm playing him over any New Orleans Saints running back. So RJ Harvey is out there. He's probably top 28 for me. Probably top 28 for me as a running back. Just depends on who you got. I think he's fine. If he's your best player, don't get too cute. Okay. User 0 says DJ Moore a good play this week. If Odunze out, hell yeah, bro, he's gonna kill. DJ Moore gonna eat. And I want to give a shout out to my homeboy JC. He been talking about DJ Moore all year, and he wasn't doing anything. You see how it changed in this fourth quadrant? He about to go eat. So that's why you hold on to your luggage. You hold on to your players, because you never know how that shit gonna change. And what I cannot stand is for me to drop a player, and then at the end of the season, I got to worry about this guy beating me. I don't want to do that. All right? So I try to hold on to my players that I believe in, much as possible, without hurting your team. Youngberg said he hasn't got 5 points in 7 weeks, and that was with Adams. I don't know. I think it's easy 10-plus points. Got 5 touchdowns in the past 5 games. Who you talking about, Youngberg? I'm kind of confused. You said he hasn't got 5 points in 7 weeks, and that was the Adams game. Okay, you mean above. He's been getting above 5 points. I got you. I think it's easy 10-plus points. Got 5 TDs past 5 games. Yeah, right. That's good information, bro. I respect you bringing straight facts. I can't debate none of that. To me, man, following the stat line, like, I can't follow stat lines with players like that. Like, I like Christian Watson, so I'm biased just like everybody else. I might play a guy and not be able to use his stats to validate his start. I don't feel good validating Kobe Parkinson's start with the last 5 weeks in a fantasy football playoffs when I might have a better tight end. But if you streaming tight ends, who gives a damn about Kobe Parkinson? Put him in and let's see what happens. You might hit for something great. And if he give you 5, who cares? But for people that got like a Brock Bowers, people that got like I won't say Isaiah Likely, because Kobe Parkinson is a better player than Isaiah Likely this week. But guys that got these Dallas Goedert, I don't know if you want to sit your starter, Dalton Schultz, to go to a Kobe Parkinson just to get a boom game because of Devontae Adams sitting. But guess what, bro? Your logic and your math makes sense. So I'm not going to debate that. Kobe Parkinson can go out here for 25 points. I just want people to understand how to go down with the ship, how to lose. Don't do nothing stupid. And what's stupid isn't what you get, the results that you get. What's stupid is you set somebody that's been playing with your team all year. They maybe not been giving you 20 points, but they've been giving you from 7 to 12 points. And you sit that guy to go to Kobe, and something happens to Kobe. Or, knock on wood, or Kobe doesn't give you the upside that you really want, and then you kind of disappointed and you feel like that's the reason why you lost. That's what I'm doing. But bro, what you broke down, thank you. That's cutting edge content. Kobe's been being fine. You know, Matthew Stafford, any of his weapons going to be okay anyway. Kyron Williams, Blake Horn, we can play a lot of guys off that team. It's just, how do you lose in your fantasy football playoffs? Great take, though, Young Bird. Tell Dog says, 100, which defense, Jags or Chiefs? I got to go with the Jags. The Chiefs makes me nervous. IC says, Show or Baker? I'm going with Baker. I don't know if I can still trust Bake, but Mike Evans is a dog. You got to trust Bake. You got to trust Baker. I mean, what else? I mean, I'm not going to go to Shuck. If you said C.J. Stroud, yeah, I can't go to Shuck over Baker. But I'm not saying, because, bro, we could go from Baker to Tyrod Taylor, and we don't know who's going to outscore who, right? It's fantasy. We kind of got to, some grasp of some information. Excuse me, guys. We got a grasp of some information, but we don't know what we can count on when the game starts. I feel better playing Baker in week 16 than I feel playing a rookie quarterback for the Saints. Youngberg says, man, a red zone target all day. Okay, he talking about Kobe Parkinson. Okay. Tedrick says, let's talk J.J. McCarthy. You think he can be a franchise quarterback? Yes. You got to be patient with these guys. I'm sorry, Wander. Sorry about that, bruh. It's hard to see anything below $5. They don't let it pop up on my screen. I have to scroll like y'all do through the comments. So I apologize, Wander. He says, question above. Okay. Flex 1, Swift, Evans, Sutton, or Juckins? We're going with Evans over Sutton and Juckins. We're going with Evans. Appreciate that, Wander. And I'm going to see if you got any more questions. He says, we're good. Yep. I'm going to make sure I get to your question because I should have been to your question a while. He said, Knicks or Caleb this week? Caleb missing a few pieces. He is. I'm going to go with Caleb. It's that Broncos is so herky-jerky. You don't never know. It could be Bo Nix. It could be R.J. Harvey. It could be Troy Franklin. It could be Cortland Sutton. It could be Evan Ingram. I don't play a lot of guys outside of a Cortland Sutton who gives you a nice little safe floor. He is good for that. I don't really play a lot of Denver Broncos unless it's R.J. Harvey or like a Cortland Sutton, maybe a Bo Nix, because I don't got nobody else to play, or I'm in a super flex league. What's up? I see you, Conscious. Yes, I believe J.J. McCarthy is going to be, you just got to be patient with him. J.J. McCarthy is going to be a good, and I'm talking to Tedrick. Tedrick said, let's talk J.J. McCarthy. I said that earlier. You think he would be a franchise quarterback? Yes. You just got to be patient. It takes a long time, guys, with most quarterbacks to learn the game. If Pat Mahomes goes somewhere else, it might take him a little bit longer to get going. 6 says, Fannin or Parkinson? I'm going with Fannin over Parkinson. King Sirius says, Breach is tough to trust against the Saints this week. It's a bad script to begin with. Yes, sir. I agree with it. Only would want to play A.D. Mitchell because they could be, trailing. So the only guy that I want to play is A.D. Mitchell. Judah says, thanks, bro, anytime. Mark says, neither the Eagles or the Ravens will be there. You could be right, bro. I ain't gonna debate with you. I just took a shot. I don't know. You could be right. Judah says, you helping me get to the chip 1 week at a time. Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. Judah says, started 3-6. Now I'm 8-6 with most points by almost 200. That's what I'm talking about, the way how you go down with your ship. You see how you stayed true? But what if you'd have sold all your players or traded them? You would have just been out the playoffs. Don't nobody want to play you, bro. The number one team don't want to play you. I'm telling you, man, I don't want to play these teams that get hot later in the third, fourth quadrant. I'm telling you, man. Good job, Judah. RFH says, Fanning worth the start against a stingy Bills D. They stingy, but they can't pass rush. How you get to Shadir, you got to have a great pass rush. The Buffalo Bills got probably the worst pass rush in the NFL. They might be the last three teams in pass rush. Can pivot to Loveland, Henry, and Parkinson. Listen, let me tell you something now. See, you putting the pressure on me. Loveland, Henry, and Parkinson are guys that you can swap out for Fanning. Right? I'm just saying, dance with the girl that you came with. Fanning is leading all tight ends in targets the last 3 weeks. I don't want to get away from that with a Shadir who has crazy upside, but he has a real bad floor too. But he has crazy upside. Fanning's floor is probably the best floor. He's going to get 10 targets, so his worst game might be 10 points. So I'm going to stay with Fanning. But Loveland, I wouldn't be mad at you if you swapped him out for Loveland. I wouldn't be mad at you if you swapped him out for Hunter Henry. I wouldn't be mad at you if you swapped him out for Kobe Parkinson. But the only thing I ask you is, what feels bad if you put that guy in and he plays bad? Don't do that. I know you might say, wait a minute, what they got to do with it? Because this is fantasy. It's like playing the lottery. I don't want to play $5,000 worth of lottery ticket because I'm gonna be mad if I don't hit. But if I put $20 on a lottery ticket, I'm okay with whatever happens, and I want you to be okay with whatever happens. That's not playing safe. That's playing smart. You got to think about, okay, if I put this guy in, but he doesn't play well, do I feel like I made the right decision? So to me, man, all three guys are cool, but I like Fanning. I would be angry if I set Fanning and he goes off. The other guys, if I didn't have Fanning, out of those three guys, I probably would play Loveland with Roma Dunze and Luther Bird now. Ron, what's up, Ron? He says Dak versus the Chargers or Stroud versus the Raiders. We're going with Stroud versus the Raiders. I don't feel great about sitting Dak, but that Chargers defense is okay. But Stroud, man, his matchup is so good with Nico Collins. Raiders defense is garbage outside of Max Crosby. So I would probably play Stroud. Yes, sir, Ron. Big Tom says Flowers has to score in order to return any sort of value. He had a tough matchup versus the Pats. Right. He has a tough matchup against the Pats. Yes, bro. Let me tell y'all something. The biggest thing that I think y'all do not see right now, and I'm not getting on to you, Big Time. But it's because I get a lot of questions about Flowers. Y'all don't know what Flowers are. And don't worry about it. We'll talk about it next year when he start balling out and Lamar is healthy. Because I'm gonna chastise y'all because I feel y'all are very intelligent. But when it comes to Flowers, it's that y'all act like he damn Tyler Lockett. Like, this guy can play. You got to understand, Lamar been hurt. Don't you know when Lamar was healthy that he was the number 2 wide receiver in fantasy? Flowers was the first 3 weeks of the season. Flowers was the top 3 wide receiver when Lamar was healthy. Soon as Lamar went down, Flowers ain't did shit since. And then when Lamar comes back, he still really ain't been himself. Like, as far as Lamar and Zay. Now, Zay, what I did not like, and I had to bring Zay down a little bit, he dropped that pass in the game. That was a big-time pass. This is a playoff game. And you're going to drop that pass from Lamar? I didn't like that. But far as Zay separating, go look at PFF.com and go look at all the analytics of Puka, Jamar Chase, and see who else is up there. It's Zay Flowers. Now, him getting the points is 2 different things, so I get that. But, and I could be biased. I don't cap. I don't tell no lies. I could be biased because I am a big Lamar fan. He's won me several championships. Zay Flowers has won me a couple championships. You have to play Zay because if Lamar going to have a good game, Zay usually has a good game. He doesn't have to score. He needs that hyper target. It's not the 4 targets, the 8 to 10 targets that he's going to probably average for his career while he's playing for the Baltimore Ravens as a young wide receiver. So I like Zay, depending on, I'm not saying he's better than Jamar Chase, but he's definitely a top 16 wide receiver this week. Going against the New England Patriots, that's going to be a high-scoring game. Look at Buffalo and New England. When you got 2 quarterbacks, you can't run the ball. They tried to run the ball. What happened? Josh Allen hunt that ass down and came and whooped you. You got to keep scoring. And I believe the same thing is going to happen here. Now, if Baltimore Ravens defense play out of their mind like they did against the Cincinnati Bengals, then yes. If they shut down the New England Patriots, yes, it could hurt Zay Flowers. But my game script, this is my game script for them. A lot of points. They, look, yes, Derrick Henry gonna get his for whatever. It might not be no bunch of fantasy points, but he gonna get his carries. But he's gonna be pushing the ball to Likely and Zay. Now, am I gonna talk about Likely this week? No, because he gave me a 0. But I won't be shocked if Likely goes off. So Lamar gonna be pushing the ball downfield against his New England Patriots. So I just want y'all to respect Flowers. He is a good player. Schoolie says Bears going to the Super Bowl. I'm not mad at you. Anybody that's in the playoffs could do it. Aaron Jones or Quinshawn, we're going Quinshawn. We're going with Quinshawn. Harvey is top 20. Yeah, if you want to say top 20, I'm okay with that, bro. We all got different rankings. I like a few other guys coming in, yes. But if you want to say he's top 20, hell yeah. Why not? I think Harvey is a start for most people, depending on what type of league. If you're in an 8-team league, no, he's not a start. Maybe not even a 10-team. But 12-team league, he's a top 20 back. B. Silver says, can we trust Burrow for this week? Yes. Or drop for Brissett, Stroud in a 10-team league. I would go with Stroud in a 10-team league over Burrow. Like Stroud, man, that matchup is so good. I'm telling people to sit some studs like a Burrow. Well, remember, Burrow got Trace. You can't target underneath when you got to Chase. You can't keep targeting underneath when you got a T. Higgins. That's a lot of points down the field. I think T. Higgins is going to help balance things out. So I like Burrow, but I also like Stroud a lot. Brissett is safe. You have to break this shit down. Everything ain't made to be one and all. Some things are good for some people. Some things are good for other people. That's why I have to break it down all the way, guys, because that's the way I see it. It's not simple. Brissett. Sometimes it is. So when I'm making my play, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen here? This could happen, but I'm okay with this. Okay, I got good players, so I'm willing to get a little edgy here. You have to do that. That's why consultations are good. I wish my homeboy was in here. If anybody in here that had a consultation with me, if you want to say you did and you want to tell how you did, you can say it. I'm not going to call you out. That's a personal information, so I'm not going to tell people, and I'm not going to say their names when I have consultations with them. But I've had consultations with guys, and guess what I did for a guy? This is like 4 weeks ago. He said, TD, man, I'm at the 6th seed. I need to make sure I make the playoffs. What do I do? I'm looking at his team. He got some picks. This is dynasty. I told him, I said, listen, man, go get J-Mo. J-Mo had just gave a person a 0. I said, man, you can get him now. He was like, okay. I said, who? And he was like, is there any other moves? I said, yeah, go get A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown ain't getting no targets. He talking about don't play me in fantasy. I said, bro, don't worry about that shit. That's just what they saying. He made the deal. He gave up a first for A.J. and he gave up a first for J-Mo. They overcharged him for J-Mo, but I said, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's going to work out for you. Hey, look what he got now. He got A.J. Brown and J-Mo. That is 2 top 12 wide receivers for the rest of the season. So you have to trust that things change. So let's go with Stroud in this situation, bro. Let's go with Stroud. I just think the matchup is superior. Schoolie says, Odunze hurt game. Yes. That still doesn't mean anything. They got Colston Loveland. They got DJ Moore. They got another wide receiver. Alameda Zaccheaus. Like, these guys can play. Ben Johnson don't need no one wide receiver. This team is not ran by one wide receiver. DJ Moore will be fine for fantasy purposes. We're not talking about who's going to win the game. We're talking about for fantasy purposes. Got another super chat from Chef Boy. What's up? He said, bro, Dak or Stafford? Let's go with Dak. We're going with Dak over Stafford. That Seattle defense is going to be playing with no Devontae Adams. Let's go with Dak. Appreciate the super chat. Hold on, let me see something. I just took a screenshot. All right, let's see here. Big Tom says, do you think Pickens will disappoint teams this week that he helped carry to the fantasy playoffs? That's cutting edge content. Yes, you could be disappointed. But listen, let me tell you, don't be disappointed. Look, let me tell you something here at Fantasy Good Sports. I want to teach etiquette, fantasy football etiquette. And you might say, TD, what in the hell are you talking about? Fantasy football etiquette? What do you mean? Don't cheat? No, what I'm saying is how to respect these professional players. They're not robots. Football players with robots is coming in the future. That's neither here nor there. Give me my flowers later in 25 years when I'm an older man and I got all this would be great at that time. But that's neither here nor there. But let me tell you something. Quadrants are real, bro. Devontae Adams might not be there for people for the next couple of weeks. That's fine. That happens. CMC, I was in the league. I had lost 2 games in the league. Going in as the number 1 seed. 8 teams made the playoff. This is a 14-team league. CMC only gave me 17 against an easy matchup. I lost by 5 points. It happens. I'm not angry at CMC. He did his job. What I needed CMC to give me about 7 weeks and don't go down. He did more than that, so I'm happy. George Pickens, you drafted him later. You just need him to show me what you is. He did that. He finished as the number 1 and top 3 wide receiver 3 or 4 times. He did his job. What did your mom and daddy tell you? You can't take everybody with you where you're going. So right now, man, you can't take Pickens. I get it. He might not be the number 1 top wide receiver for you this week. It doesn't look good. He could. We seen what he did earlier in the season. But right this week, it might be a CeeDee Lamb game, and it might be a Javonte Williams game, and maybe Pickens get frustrated again. That's okay. You still got to play him for the upside. That's why I always want boom players around other players, because sometimes guys are just having a bad 4 or 5 week span, and that's okay. That happens. Guys, in order to get that team in standard back in the day, you could get them running backs and they putting up 20 points every week. That shit don't happen no more. So be okay with players trending down a little bit in the quadrant, especially even in your championship quadrant. You got to be okay with it. Move on, do whatever you got to do. Make sure you got other boom players around Pickens, but he may not go off this week. So I just want people to know that. That's a cutting-edge content, big time. Cutting-edge content. Copac says, other than Taylor, is there any other Colts players worth playing? Yes, Tyler Warren. Now, listen, it didn't go all the way that I wanted, but he still was used. Phillip Rivers played a little bit better than what I thought he was going to play. He didn't have to just hyper-target Warren. But, guys, this is what I'm saying. Let me tell you what I think the game script. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Why not use Tyler Warren at Wildcat song? Let him run the ball a little bit. You got to find ways to get these guys the ball. Phillip Rivers is not going to be able to get guys the ball like he did 20 years ago. So what you have to do is run these dynamic plays. I want to see what you got, Shane Steichen. Let me see how you can move guys around. So I can see Tyler Warren getting tush pushers. I can see him getting carries, like with the faking it to Jonathan Taylor and take off running. Like, I think Warren got a great safe floor with a quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who's old, don't want to be hit. He got to get the ball out quick. So you got to give him an outlet. You got to give him that first read, then outlet, because he's not going to be moving in the pocket, making people miss like Joe Burrow. So I like Warren, but if you got Kobe Parkinson and you want him for the upside, that's fine. I get it. Me, I'm going down with my studs. You're right. RAF said he's talking about Parkinson. Right. I figured that out later. Yep. Aries says Parkinson or Schultz. I'm going with Schultz. KC or New Orleans defense? That's a great question, bruh. Listen, man, I'm going to say KC, but if you want to go to New Orleans, I'm nervous about KC. I don't know if their defensive guys are going to want to play hard, but I'm going to say KC, man, for professionalism. Personally, I probably would still go with KC. I don't know if I could play New Orleans if I already got KC on my team. When they're going against Tennessee, if they was going against somebody else, I would say New Orleans. But it's Tennessee. If they let Cam Ward run around, I guess I'll be honest. I'm going to be a little bit disappointed because I'm playing Kansas City in the league. I don't got no other better defense out there. No New Orleans. New Orleans was out there, but I didn't pick them up early enough. I'm going to just go down with the ship with Kansas City. I'm going down with the ship with Kansas City. And I will be angry a little bit if they let Cam Ward throw for 3 touchdowns on them, because y'all would normally never do no shit like that. So hopefully I gave you what you needed to make the decision. I won't be surprised if New Orleans outscored Kansas City and Kansas City gives up a bunch of points because they just gave up. It's at the end of the season with Pat Mahomes being hurt. Always says Christian Watson is hurt. Yes, I know he's hurt. That's why I said I'm not playing no Green Bay wide receiver. The only Green Bay wide receiver that I will ever play in my life, long as Matt LaFleur is the coach, is going to be Christian Watson. So he's out, so I'm not playing no wide receiver unless a bunch of guys is hurt, and I still won't play him. Schoolie says nobody knew who Fannin was before Sunday. Yeah, people knew who Fannin was. People knew who Fannin was. Big Time says it's going to be hard to trust Waddle this week with the Dolphins making a quarterback change from Tua Tagovailoa to Quinn. I agree 100%. Owiz says I have Parkinson with Devontae out. Stafford or Burrow? I'm going with Burrow. Wandir says Knicks or Caleb this week. I'm going with Caleb. We did that one already. Conscious Machine says hit that like button, fellas. Let's get the likes up. Come on, we got 50 people in here. We only got 36 likes. Mobley says got Henderson and Chase Brown, Juckins or Pollard. Who do I start? Thanks, bruh. And what's up with Lamar? Lamar being Lamar. It happens. Who's a quarterback? Guys have bad quadrants, but I'm willing to go down with Lamar because of the upside. Like now, here's where you can get. I'm giving you areas where I feel you could get cute at. If you wanted to bench Lamar for C.J. Stroud or something, hey, the science makes sense. Do you got the audacity? You know what I wanted to say. Do you got the to do it? That's the thing. I don't got to make that move and play C.J. Stroud over Lamar. I just feel good about playing Lamar, and I lost in the league with Lamar. Could I stream somebody else? Maybe. I didn't even look to. I went down with my ship. So to me, there's nothing wrong with Lamar. I could ask you what's wrong with Joe Burrow, and that's what I don't like about people. Like y'all are looking for Lamar to be like it's like I don't give a damn what he does. I'm wait up. He had a bad game, and Joe Burrow will go out and get hurt for 2 years in a row. Have 2 or 3 bad games. It's Joe Burrow though. It's Joe Burrow. But Lamar, if he don't win the MVP, he had a bad season. It is what it is. And I'm not talking to you, Mobley. I'm just saying we all seen quarterbacks go through bad situations, and we understand it happens. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to say about that. Like I seen Matthew Stafford struggle. I seen a lot of quarterbacks struggle. You just have to keep playing them, and hopefully your other players on your team can manage it and boom for you. I love the Henderson and Chase Brown too, man. Or Pollard. So I would start Henderson over Chase Brown and Juckins and Pollard. Cat Rabbit says Denver or New Orleans defense. I'm going with Denver's defense. Andrew says Rice with Minshew or Olave. I'm going with Olave. Icy says 2 more, Jake Ferguson or Darren Waller, and Eagles DST or Seahawks DST. I will go with the Eagles DST, and I will go with Darren Waller, but I'm nervous because of the new quarterback. So if the safer play would be Jake Ferguson, but I think Waller has more upside. So whatever you willing to digest. Are you willing to digest Jake Ferguson? Darren Waller with a backup quarterback. So you go with Jake Ferguson if you're not willing to play a tight end with a new quarterback that hasn't never had an NFL start. So because that makes sense. But me, just talking in a vacuum to your team, I like Darren Waller upside because you probably got other good players around him to support him if he does you. I like the Seahawks DST going against the Rams tonight. I think this could be a 17-14 game or a 21-17 game. But the Eagles defense is like that, man. They still are star-studded. They got great pass rushers. They're going against a Washington Commanders team who only got one good wide receiver in a decent run game. Big Tom says Reed offers an elevated ceiling if Watson is out. He does. But I seen Romeo ball with Watson out. I seen Jaden Reed get what you saying. Otis says starting Rashid Rice, Lamb, Fannin over Ibuka, Evans, or Kelsey. Okay, so I don't think Rashid Rice is going to play this week. So I would start Evans, Lamb, and Fannin. What's up, Darius? King Series said, do you like Worthy if Rice is out? Only in a deep league. I'm not going to go to him immediately. But if I'm in a 14-team league or I'm in a 12-team league and I need somebody, I can't find nobody else on waivers, yes, I'm okay with it then. Otis says, y'all hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, fellas. 6 says 1 RB, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex. Tracy, Swift, Judkins, Dowdle, Harvey, Wandale, Flowers. I'm going with Tracy. And then I'm going with Flowers. And then the 2 flexes, I will go with Judkins. And Harvey. So Judkins, Harvey, Tracy, and Flowers. King Sirius says Parkinson is a strong tight end 1 this week. I expect Stafford to lean on him as the second option behind the core and Devontae Adams out. I respect that, King. I can't wait to watch the game tonight. Not because I want to be wrong, prove you wrong, or you prove vice versa. I hope so, but this is the difference. And right now, King, and I want to say this very respectfully. You're a good person. You've been following me for a long time. This is a good measure up because the way I see this, Parkinson ain't he ain't earned where, oh, I'm out here, I'm nasty, give me my targets. He ain't that guy yet. Look, tight ends get target like likely. Likely he's not. Now, I believe in likely to be that, but he ain't that yet. Mark Andrews, he lost that role. Zay Flowers kind of got that role if you want to look at the Baltimore Ravens. But this is the role that I see. When I look at Trey McBride, boy, I don't even got to watch the game. I know he getting targets. Brock Bowers, he may miss them, but I know he going to get the targets. I seen 2 games with Chip Kelly where he didn't get the targets. That's why Chip Kelly got fired. But other than that, I know they're going to get the targets. Parkinson, I don't be out there like, oh, I'm beating this safety right here. I don't see that with him. But I could be wrong because I have missed out on players and didn't see that this guy was an alpha. To play Parkinson as a tight end 1 over other tight end 1s, you got to be an alpha. To play Parkinson and I don't got nobody else, it's a great strategy. It's a great matchup. I'm just nervous about him getting the targets because he could get 1 touchdown with 2 targets or 3 targets. But y'all said he's not going to get those 3 targets. He's going to get 5 or 6 targets. I want to see it. That way I can come back and apologize and say, hey, man, you was right. Parkinson is ready, guys. I missed that one. Jay Moore says start 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. So if Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing, he is in there. And then I'm going to go with Jennings. So I'm going to go with Jennings and Marvin Harrison Jr. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, you got to go with I would go with Coca slightly over Ibuka, but that's cutting edge. If you want to replace Ibuka with Coca, there's nothing wrong with it if MHJ is out. As far as your 2 flexes, you got to be Henderson and you got to go with Chase Brown. Henderson and Chase Brown. Samuel, he says, hello, bro. Need help. Full PPR. Pick 2, Ted, Coca, Jefferson, or Reed. I'm going with Jefferson and Ted. I'm going with Jefferson and Ted. Andrew says May or Lamar. That's tough. That's tomato. I've explained it already. I'm going to say May. I'm going to say Drake May. Father 3 says Zay is him. It's Lamar that makes me nervous. Right. But what do you mean Lamar makes you nervous? Because this is what I want to say, Father 3. I don't hear people talk about Joe Burrow in that way. I've heard people say Joe Burrow didn't play great, but I don't hear him say that he makes them nervous. That's what that's the fantasy football etiquette again. We are so hard on our players, like especially Lamar, man. Listen, I get it. Lamar, I'm not going to say he's not God to me. So I'm going to call him out when he doesn't play well. He's had a couple games where he hasn't played well. But to try to say that makes you nervous, like Joe Burrow just had a 0. He just put up a 0 against the Baltimore Ravens with Jamar Chase. I just want people to be fair-minded when you watching Lamar. I know Lamar, I don't know. I could be missing it. He could be my favorite player, just like I see a girl and I think she fine. She fart. I be like, no, it don't smell. It don't stink, right? Y'all be like, man, come on, TD. She can't do no wrong. You think this girl is a goddess. Maybe so. Father 3 says, trying to pick Green Bay wide receivers like asking your kids who broke the table downstairs. All y'all going on punishment. Facts. Big facts. School, he said May. I agree. You got to go with May. Brandon Rose, and the reason why I'm saying May, because May is the #1 quarterback. He's an MVP candidate. I don't care what Josh Allen did. He didn't take his MVP candidate. If May finished as the #1 team in the AFC, he should win the MVP if you ask me. With the Patriots roster, the Buffalo Bills roster is better than the Patriots. Out now, the offensive line could be different. Brandon says, you think JSN goes off tonight? Well, listen, man, it's JSN. If you ask me as a football player, like, probably not. As in fantasy, hell yeah. Because fantasy, it's JSN. I don't know the game script, but I know the guy's going to get 8 to 10 targets, right? I know that particular thing is going to happen. But as far as goes off for a prop bet, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough defensive game. Samuel says, please pick one, Herbert, Bryce Young, or Burrow. We're going with Burrow over Herbert and Bryce Young. Hampton or Dowdle, I'm going with... I'm going to go with Hampton slightly over Dowdle. Schoolie says, Patriots going to the Super Bowl. I agree. I think they got a chance. I know I put the Baltimore Ravens in there, but I would not be disappointed. That's my second team. I would say the Eagles and the Patriots, or the Eagles or Baltimore Ravens. Jay Moore says, likely or Warren, bro. Listen, man, I'm going to be honest here. You know I like Likely, but I cannot tell y'all to do that, to play him again after he gave everybody a 0. So professionally, I'm going with Warren. But my personal life behind doors, I might play Likely. Just depend. Warren is a good player. Warren's been playing too good. I wouldn't even have Likely on my team if I had Warren. That's just the way I play. When I got top guys, I don't bring in other guys that I might have to make a start-to-sit decision with. But when they kind of low-tier guys, like a J-Mo, DK Metcalf, I put another guy on my roster and see if I could push this guy and change my starting lineup, but not when I have a guy like Warren. Even with the quarterback situation, I won't go to Likely. Could I go to somebody else? Maybe, but not Likely after the 0. But I always Likely is a really great talent. Ed Tay says, I have Mike Evans and Ibuka, or play Christian Watson, or play Michael Carter or Estime. Play Mike Evans. Play Mike Evans. And if you're talking about play Mike Evans and Ibuka, yeah, those are two good guys. Christian Watson not going to play. Michael Carter is sneaky. You can play Mike Evans and Michael Carter. I actually think, he's a starting running back. With Ibuka being a number 3, number 4 wide receiver now, maybe so. Maybe Mike Evans maybe Michael Carter is a better play than Ibuka. And I think you're going to have to make this decision as the days go on, because Estime is a good play too. So if I find out that all the running backs are out and it's just going to be Estime and Evan Hall, I might go to Estime. But if Alvin Kamara plays, I won't make that move. So Michael Carter or Estime, you're going to have to make that decision over Ibuka, who's a starting wide receiver, but he's a wide receiver 3/4. Michael says, Hurts is kind of bad this season. Yeah, I faded him. He's still a good player, but I know he could go up and down because it was all about the tush push, and he also had Saquon on his team. Schoolie says, don't never trust Burrow. I get it. I didn't draft Burrow in a lot of leagues, but it is Burrow. He does have that upside. Ed Tate says, I have Dak. Do you think I go another route? No. I like the way you answered that question. Ain't nothing to look for. Now, C.J. Stroud, man, that's an option this week. C.J. Stroud can push a lot of starters this week. But I would say go ahead and play Dak. I think Dak is going to always, garbage time is Dak's best friend. He got those wide receivers, man. They always going to be chucking the ball downfield. Smith Weston says, how do you feel about Worthy? I'm only picking him up if I don't have nobody else to pick up. I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to hyper-target him or anything, even with Rashid Rice being out. Jay Moore said, you think MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., boom, coming back from injury? Maybe not the first week. I still think Michael Wilson's going to get a lot of targets, and maybe MHJ can work up to a good targets, maybe like week 18, but coming out for that surgery and getting a bunch of targets this week, I don't know if that happens. School says, I appreciate the game, OG. You know it. Darius says, May or T-Law, we're going with May. Big time. So bruh paid $50 for you to tell him to buy low on JMO and AJ. Laughing like, are these amateurs? That's common sense. Okay, big time. I'm gonna have to get on you a little bit. And let me tell you why. I not your breakdown, but I'm gonna have to get on you, bruh. You went to the $50. That's a little bit. That's a little haterish, bruh. I love you to death. You don't get in my pockets, bruh. That's a little disingenuous. And you got it. And I just want to be said, because, bro, I don't want you to get angry. I'm just talking to you like a brother. I could ignore your conversation and miss your questions for the next couple hours, but I'm not going to do that because you've been good. You always in the live. But for you to say $50, I think the right way to say what you're trying to say, to be respectful of what my platform would be, man, I would have bought low on JMO. I didn't need nobody to tell me that. TD, I like JMO and AJ. That was a good. You don't go to $50 because that tells me what you've been thinking, what you own. I ain't paying no $50 to that dude. $50 for what? And you might not say, no, TD, I never felt that way, but you bought up my price. I love you to death, bro. But you bought up my price. Come on now. But you think I'm supposed to get on the phone with somebody for 30 minutes for $5? Come on, bro. These other guys charging. Don't you want my channel to be like them? Or I'm black and I do lives from outside, so my channel ain't on that level. Cause they ain't with that. You think they're gonna sit on the phone with you for 30 minutes for less than $50? They gonna probably charge you $100. I ain't sloppy seconds, bro. I got good takes. So yes, JMO. I don't know if it was, bruh, and everybody wasn't buying on no JMO, because this is before Amara got hurt. Well, nobody wanted JMO. Nobody wanted JMO. If that was the case, bruh, because he couldn't buy JMO right now. That's my point. He couldn't buy AJ Brown right now. And then if he could still buy those guys, I would get it, right? So I just want you to understand that. No hard feelings, bro. I just thought I had to kind of like let you know what's going on, what you said. Okay, sorry about that, Mom Maze. He says, my gut says Mike Evans over AJ Brown and Pickens. Yeah, but AJ Brown is a star, so I'm not gonna tell you to sit AJ Brown. Pickens is a star too, but he's lower than AJ Brown and Mike Evans. Mike Evans and AJ Brown are top 12 guys this week. Mike Evans and AJ Brown are top 12 guys. Pickens is a top 16 guy. So you're not picking over sloppy second guys. You all got good picks, so you can't really make a bad decision. But I would rank AJ. Let me rank these guys for you. I think that's a better breakdown for what you need. Mike Evans, AJ Brown, and Pickens. You already got it ranked. Appreciate you, Mon Hayes. Appreciate y'all being here. Father 3 said, that boy got his hand in your pocket. Don't he, Father? But hey, but hey, listen, Big Tom is my homeboy. He always shows respect to the channel. So I would never disrespect him like that. But disrespectful, bro, if I wouldn't call it out. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be honest with you because I love you, bro. You come here, you support the channel. So I had to address you, man. You don't say that. Y'all know better than that. Okay, here you go. He said, respectfully, 50 is pocket change. Okay, but not where I come from, bro. He says, I'm saying that's common sense by low strategy. I wouldn't pay for that. No hard feelings. Right. Thank you, man. I was worried that you was going to get mad and want to leave. Most people don't want to be said. They don't want anything. That shows me, bro, that you played some sports, or you had a father that was in the military that's going to, they're going to talk to you and you're not going to take it personal and whine like a little kid. Right? So I respect that, bro. Thank you for responding. But yeah, man, it ain't pocket change for everybody. It ain't even pocket change for me, man. I ain't saying I got a bunch of money. I got a decent job, right? So it ain't pocket change for people, but I get it. I know you weren't really coming at me like that, but it's just, you went to a price, and I've never heard you talk about a price for anything that I'm selling. But appreciate you, bro. Let's see here. Trying to find where I was at, guys. Okay. Okay, so we did May or T Law, May for Darius T81. Smith and Weston said, how you feel about someone starting Kyra Rims and Blake Corum? I love the squeeze. You know, I thought if you had Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, you needed to play them together. If you got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, depending on your team, how it's built, you need to play them together. So there's nothing wrong with playing two running backs in the same backfield when they are 50-50. But don't do it 70-30, and I maybe not even 60-40. You can do it sometimes with 60-40. A great 60-40 scheme would be the Bears, Managai and Swift. But Corum and Kyron is 50-50. So just to get 2 touchdowns by both, one each get a touchdown, and to put that in your lineup, and they both give you 12 or 13 in a standard league, hell yeah, that's a great play. Or if you ain't got nobody else and you go into the waivers and ain't nothing there but a Blake Corum on your squad or on the waivers, yes, it's fine. Herbert or Lawrence, I'm going with Trevor Lawrence. Hey, the Jags are a good team. This is gonna be a good ass game. I'm going for the Jags. I'm going for the Jags. The Jags are going to ball, man. I'm not saying Lawrence is going to ball out there, but I'm not scared to play him. If I got Trevor Lawrence, I'm not benching him. I'm not benching Trevor Lawrence if I have him on my team. If I got to go stream him, it just depends on what I got already on my team. King Sirius says, I like Jalen Coker moving forward. He led the team in yardage. I think he is the chemistry with Young. If there any chemistry, I think Ted got chemistry with Young too. Ed Tay says, do you think I play Kyron Williams and Kobe Parkinson or go to another tight end like Fannin or Schultz? No. Listen, you already got the sauce. Those guys, for what's going on right now, are too good. They rank too high to go in the streets and start looking for a woman to pick up. You already got a wife and kids at home. Go hang out for Christmas, bro. Go hang out with your wife and kids, and have a good time with them. Don't go to the clubs looking to find something new because you got a beautiful wife. You got some kids. Kyron Williams is a top 24 running back. I went down a little bit because of what's going on with Blake, but he's still a good guy. He's still giving you the touchdown upside. Kobe Parkinson. For guys like I like Fannin, but to go get him and sit Kobe, that's when it can get very tricky. I don't want to get the same guys in the same tier, right? That gets more personal. Well, who do you like? But we all know the difference between Rosie O'Donnell and Margot Robbie. We all know the difference between them. But Rosie O'Donnell or Oprah, it's more of your taste, your appetite. So when you're going from Kobe Parkinson to Fannin, it's more of your appetite. It's not this is a better player. So if you already got Kobe and Kyron on your team, I love the way you listen, y'all guys are learning. Y'all guys are understanding the way I break it down. Not listening to exactly what I tell you to do, but you understanding my logic. So you saying, TD, should I go out here and pick up somebody or should I just stay with the guys that I got? I think you should stay with the guys that you got. You got Kyron, play Kobe. And then stash Fannin, say you can play defense if you can. I would stash Fannin to play defense. Voltron, what's up, bro? He said, you think Rivers is garbage? No, he's not garbage. No, he's killing it for a 40-some-year-old quarterback. He's 45, right? He's killing it. He's killing it, guys. That's the way I assess stuff. When I see a 45-year-old woman, I'm not going to say, oh, that woman ugly. She don't look better than Margot Robbie. What the hell? They not even in the same league. This is a 45-year-old woman. It's different degrees. Like right now, y'all guys, some of y'all 23, like, TD, I look better than you. Bro, I got gray. I'm 38. You not competing with me. I'm competing with other guys in my age. I can't compete with you. I don't want to wrestle with none of y'all guys. I'm 38. When I was 20, I would wrestle with you. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Right? So that's the same thing. Phillip Rivers is killing it for his age. Amar, he says Addison or DJ Moore. I'm going with DJ Moore. Funny says Moore or Rondell Robinson. I'm going with Moore. Josh Diet says, appreciate that work, TD. Anytime, bruh. Josh says Loveland or Parkinson. I love Loveland over Parkinson with Luther Burden being out. The Private Pal says Managai or Luther Burden, but Luther Burden will miss this week, so I'm going with Managai. Chris Moore says Watson or Ibuka or Pierce. I'm going with Ibuka because Watson is out and Pierce doesn't have a quarterback who can get him the ball. Let me make sure I didn't get another super chat. Yes, I did. From Mine Hayes. He says, appreciate you, big dog. Mike Evans kills the Panthers. Hey, Mike Evans kills anybody in the fourth quadrant. Mike Evans is the best fourth quadrant player that I ever saw since I've been breaking down fantasy football. When it gets in that fourth quarter, that dude would get 25 plus points every single week because they're going to keep his streak. Now, he might not get his 1,000 yards, but they're going to show enough give people hell with him trying to get it. Appreciate the super chat. Let's see here. Dante Demore, appreciate you being here. He says Watson greater than Ibuka. Ibuka greater than Pierce this week. Well, Watson can't even be talked about because he's not going to play. Pierce got a 45-year-old quarterback who can't push the ball down the field. His arm is not that strong. It's good. It's great for a 45-year-old guy, but it's not great for Pierce. So Ibuka is the guy. Got another super chat from Tyler Spirit. Bro, where the hell you been? I ain't saw you in a long time. That dude, bro, you talking about, and he trolled with respect. He used to troll me all the time. But he wasn't trolling me trying to downgrade my channel. He would ask, he wanted me, TD, I don't know about this guy. And he would, every time I made a take, he would chastise it. And I respect that because he stayed true. So, hey, long time no see, bro. He said, with Watson out, Reed or Devontae? You talking about Devontae Smith? I would probably play Devontae Smith. I don't know what Devontae that is because Devontae Smith that I know, his name ends with an A. But if you're talking about Devontae Smith, yes, I would play Devontae Smith over Watson. Appreciate that, Tyler. Appreciate that. Let me see. Ron says certain ones are held to a different standard, bro. I know, right? I see it now with Lamar. I see it. And I understand it. I understand it with myself, but I understand it with Lamar. Ali Hayes says, so what do you think about the games tonight? The game tonight, I actually think it's going to be a defensive game. And I'm going to go to, like, Blake Corum is a guy that I like because his odds are going to be really good. So I'm going to probably take a Blake Corum anytime touchdown with a couple yards. I'm just going to do, mostly I'm doing a parlay today, guys. And matter of fact, I'll post my parlay. I'll probably do like an 8-leg parlay. It's kind of like for me to hit big or go home. I don't, the safe ones, I might do a straight up bet. Maybe like an anytime touchdown for Blake Corum. That'd be like my straight bet. But my freaky parlay to try to win big, it's probably going to be like yards. I'm not really banking on any player to have a big game because it's going to be a defensive game. So I like a couple guys to get, maybe y'all like Kobe Parkinson. I'm not big on Kobe Parkinson. Maybe I go to, I like Corum. Maybe Tutu for a catch. Maybe Tutu Atwell for a catch. Maybe Zach Charbonnet for anytime touchdown too. I think it's going to be a defensive game. I actually picking the Rams to win the game. Monty Gold says Bowers, Parkinson, or Michael Carter. We're going with Bowers all day. Gio says, just got here. Happy holidays, my brother. Yes, sir. Darius T81 says Waller or Warren. I'm going with Warren, but Waller has more upside. But I'm going with Warren because I don't know what Quentin Ewers is going to do with Darren Waller. But Waller does have upside. He can still give you 2 touchdowns with Quentin Ewers, especially at the end of the game. They might put Tua back in. If Quentin Ewers starts stinking it up with 3 interceptions in the first half and the game kind of close, they might put Tua back in. Ali says, Noah Jones care who's wins. I'm a 49er fan, so I want somebody to lose. Got you, bruh. Gio says Josh Jacobs might not play. Okay, pick 1 running back and 1 tight end. Estimate Michael Carter, Jawan Johnson, and Tyler Warren or Parkinson. So for the running back, I would go with Michael Carter. 1 tight end, I would go with Tyler Warren. But I do understand the upside of Kobe Parkinson. So you have to understand, if you want upside, you want some boom points, or you want a safe floor. Warren got the safest floor. Parkinson got the most upside, even over Jawan Johnson. I would probably play Tyler Warren over Jawan Johnson, so I'll rank Jawan Johnson 3rd. So here's the tight end rankings, and you do whatever you please with. So I'm going to go with Tyler Warren for the safe floor. I'm going to put that over the other guys. Then I'm going to go with Parkinson for the upside. And then I'm going to go with Juwan. He said Juwan Howard. I'm going to go with Juwan Johnson for... Juwan Jordan? I think that's Juwan Jordan. That's what you meant. Okay, so we're not worried about him. We're just going to go with Tyler Warren over Parkinson for the safe play. And I will go with Michael Carter over Jawar Jordan. But if Woody Marks misses completely, I do like Jordan. And Nick Chubb. If Nick Chubb is out and Woody Marks is out, I would play Jordan over Michael Carter. But if one of those guys plays, like if Nick Chubb is active and Woody Marks is out, then I'm probably going with Michael Carter. But if both of those starting running backs are out, I'm going with Jordan. Sorry, bro, if that's fruit salad. Sorry, it's a lot of if and this and this. Obi-Wan Kenobi says, I was just scrolling, came across a British football chat. Very interesting. Yes, sir. Obi says, great insight here, though. Voltron. Let me see, guys. Hold on, Voltron. Got another super chat from Tyler Sperry. He said, sorry, with Watson out, Jaden Reed or Devontae Smith, who is not reliable? I can't play a Green Bay wide receiver. Listen, I like Jaden Reed as an athlete, but I can't play him because it's too many mouths to feed. This could be a Romeo Dobbs game. So I'm going to say don't trust Jaden Reed. I will go with Devontae Smith. Appreciate the super chat, Tyler. Voltron says, I picked up Lamar first round. The first 3 draft rounds get you into the playoffs. The waiver wins you the trophies. Come on, Voltron. Keep preaching. Obi-Wan says, I picked up Rivers as a good luck charm. I love that. Man. I like that. Yes, sir. EB says, Lamar was first to 100, then got injured. Right. That's what happened. Andrew says, good analysis, sub. Thank you, Andrew. Voltron says, Burrow is checked out. He just spoke to the media, and he doesn't have the fire to finish strong. That's a good take. If Jamar Chase plays and T. Higgins plays, he has to have the energy. I believe, this is what I believe. He may be kind of down all week. When they get ready to go on that field and Jamar Chase out there, and he's like, bro, let's go. Like that look, guys. Come on now. Y'all know what that, people who play ball, when you got the butterflies, it's like war. I feel it now. I got cold chills now talking about it. When my homeboy looked me in the eye and said, man, you ready? These guys out here, they trying to kill me. You ready to help? Let's take them out before they take us out. That brings the best out of a man, especially an athlete. So Joe Burrow is not going to let nobody just do him any kind of way. When Jamar Chase catch a 60-yard touchdown, shit, let's break a record, bro. Let's go for 500 today. That's the type of shit that's going to be played right now. But you're right. I've been thinking about that. That's why before I put Joe Burrow on my list, I sit around for about 15 minutes and just went through my head. You know, that's what I do. I'm just like, is he going to tap out? It's Joe Burrow. Why would you? If Jamar Chase wasn't playing and T. Higgins was out, hell no, I'm not playing. But why? You cannot play lackluster ball and get Jamar Chase hurt and get his knee messed up by you just not into it. Because that's how you get hurt when you're not into it. But when you're playing hard, you will protect yourself. So I believe that they play hard because once they get on the field, man, I believe that the intuition, that competitive spirit that you had at your whole life, it automatically comes out. That's what I believe. But great take, though. Great take, Voltron. Philly Fantasy says it's been hard to get a read on the Rams receiving options when Puka or Adams are injured. I'm good on Kobe. Thank you. That's how I feel, too. But listen, I want to see it. I feel the same way you feel, Philly. Silver King says no shot May should win the MVP. Why? Why not? Tell me what he ain't done. He took the New England Patriots. That team is not stars. Keyshawn Butte, Hunter Henry, Travion Henderson. Now I get that. Stephon Diggs. Like, yeah, I get it's Diggs, but he ain't the Diggs from 3 years ago. He ain't got nobody. He got a good coach. That defense is good, but to sit there, like, ain't nobody. Bruh, if you look at outside the Tennessee Titans and the Jets, who got the Patriots are a bottom 3 team for his talent. Now, where you can get me is the offensive line. That offensive line is very sneaky and good. Hernandez is good. They got a few other first-round pick guys, second-round pick guys on that team, on that offensive line. They got 3 really good players on that offensive line. So maybe that's where I need to say, well, that's why they good. But as far as weapons, Drake made him, man. I'm talking about him in a vacuum. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer already, but for us this year, shit, Josh Allen's not the MVP. Lamar Jackson's not the MVP. Saquon, AJ Brown. I'm just trying to look at some of these elite players that's playing elite. Nobody's played better than Drake May, if you ask me. This is my opinion. I don't think it's law what I'm saying. Jay Moore says, thanks, TD. I have B. John Henderson and Chase Brown. I'm locked in. Need one more flex. Who would it be? Coca, Ibuka, or Hampton? Rico, or Estimate? So listen, Estimate, you got to wait to see what happens with the starters. Rico, I don't want to play Rico in 2, but that shit is too messy right now. Rico is okay. Hampton, I like Hampton. I think he gets the goal line touches. Ibuka, I can't go to Ibuka. Coker is trending up, but it's week 16, and I don't want to get too cute. If you already, like you said, you got B. John, you got Henderson, you got Chase Brown, I would go with Hampton. Against the Cowboys. Photron says, I see nothing but degrading comments and racist remarks about Lamar, but not the white quarterbacks when they play awful. That's what it is. I agree, guys. And it don't always be like guys from different race saying that Lamar suck. It be a lot of black people saying Lamar suck. And listen, sometimes Lamar do suck, and he needs to be better at that level. But to sit here and talk about his season now, he makes you nervous. I think that's a little disingenuous. Because I can name Joe Montana, I can go to any quarterback, and they would love to have a Lamar regular season like this. Like this. So I've seen guys play way worse to this in the regular season and still be going around and being great. The NFL is rough. It's hard, man. It ain't easy. YPS Schwartz says Packers or Bears Saturday. With Michael Parsons, that worries me. I'm going to go with the Packers. Jay Moore says, appreciate you, TD, going down with the ship with Warren over likely. Just wanted the personal thoughts. Thanks again. Anytime. Jay Moore says, also Rico or Hampton. I'm going with Hampton. Who you like better this week? I like Hampton. To make sure I ain't missed no super chats. Yep. No, I ain't missed that one. Okay. Rich Gannon says, who would you start between Brian Thomas Jr. or Ibuka? I would start Brian Thomas Jr. over Ibuka. Not your everyday cultist says, no one asked you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Private Power says, don't mess with this man's pockets. B. Silver says, sorry, TD, I lost you earlier with the lag. Okay, are we trusting Burrow or only if T. Higgins plays? Only if so depends on what else you got. T. Higgins is the main thing. If T. Higgins plays, Burrow is a great play. Just with Jamar Chase, guys, I would play the other close quarterbacks over him if T. Higgins doesn't play. But if T. Higgins plays, Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback. If he doesn't, he still is a good quarterback to hyper-target Jamar Chase and have 2 touchdowns as a pocket quarterback. But it does bring him down if T. Higgins doesn't play. So I would start Dak Prescott over Joe Burrow if T. Higgins doesn't play. Thank you for that question to make it clear for everybody, B. Silver. Waterbean says Warren or Ibuka flex. I'm going with Warren over Ibuka. Jonathan says Michael Wilson, Olave, Javonte, Etienne, Harvey, pick 2. I'm going with Michael Wilson. In full PPR, I'm going with Michael Wilson and Olave. In half-point PPR, I would go with Michael Wilson and Harvey. But in full PPR, I'm going with Michael Wilson and Olave. YPS says Lamar Jackson or Trevor Lawrence. I'm going with Lamar Jackson over Trevor Lawrence. I think both of these guys are starters. They both are top 12 quarterbacks. So I'm going with the girl that I think you came to the party with, and I would think that would be Lamar. If you had Trevor Lawrence and Lamar was on waivers, I would tell you to leave Lamar alone. You just complicating things. So I'm thinking Lamar, with you having Lamar first, I wouldn't try to play Trevor Lawrence over Lamar. Jay Moore says, my opponent has JSN playing tonight till it'll feel good if he scores under 20. And I think it's possible, man. I really do, man. I don't know if he's going for no 25, 28 tonight. Jonathan says Wilson or Olave in the flex. I will go with Wilson. Father 3 says Lamar don't hyper target his weapons. Burrow does. That's why I said he makes me nervous. Okay, got you, Father 3. And listen, I knew where you was going with it when I was reading it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like, he don't hyper target. That's what hurts Lamar. Like, to me, with some of his weapons, you only can play Lamar sometimes because you don't know who the hell he gonna hyper target, and that's where he got to get better. Lamar, man, it's like a great, like, let's put it like in the NBA play. He's a great player, but the last play of the game, he passing it to the guy off the bench for the last shot. Like, bro, take the last shot or give it to the next number 2 guy. You don't, yes, Jordan passed it to Steve Kerr, but Steve Kerr, his specialty was that. You will pass it to Charlie Kohler for a 4th and 5. What the hell are you doing, Lamar? Why you passing? That's why I chastise Lamar. He don't know how to hyper target nobody. That's why he need a great offensive coordinator to say he can hyper target. He need to learn how to hyper target. Like, no, this is 4th down. I'm either going to Likely or Zay. Nobody else is getting the target unless they wide open. Monty says Michael Carter or Parkinson tonight. I'm going with Michael Carter. Spartan, I like this. He says Parkinson is wife material. Hell no. Okay, I got you. Darius T81 says Henderson, Chase Brown, Hampton, pick 2. We're going with Henderson and Chase Brown. Darius T81 says thanks, bruh, for the advice. Anytime. KO says Kenneth Walker, Michael Carter, Jordan. If Woody Marks sits, pick 1. I'm going with Jordan if Woody Marks misses. KO says Waller or Kobe Parkinson. I'm going to go with Kobe Parkinson because he has the quarterback that I can trust. I like Waller, but I don't trust Quentin Ewers. So I'm going to go with Parkinson over Waller in this situation. Intelligente says Sanders has been sacked 10 times in his 3 starts. Buffalo is a good DST versus the Browns. Yes, they are, but they ain't got no sacks, bro. You look at some of the weak teams. Look at some of the weak teams that they played. They still ain't get no sacks. Bro, they got to blitz to get a sack. If they blitz him, they might, because he's still a rookie, so you can blitz them. But if you blitz him, maybe you giving up stuff for Fannin and Quinshawn or Judy on a deep play. So I just don't think – I think the way you beat Cleveland, if you got a good blitzing team or you got a team that can get to the quarterback, Shadur can struggle. But if you can't get to the quarterback, I don't know if he struggles like the way he need to be a good DST. But I get it. I'm going to be watching that, bro. That's a good take because I understand the Browns, they got a rookie quarterback. I love Shadur, but I don't think he's going to go out there and throw for no 300 yards against the Buffalo Bills. I do think he have a good game. So it's trending as far as what the news of out here. It says, Monty, maybe you know something more than I do. Let me know, Monty. Is Watson going to play? Or are they saying that Watson has a chance to play? If he has the chance to play, then I stand corrected. MVM says Strange or Gaddison. I'm going with Strange over Gaddison. Tyler Sperry says, sorry, Devontae Smith or Jaden Reed. Like I said earlier, we're going with Smith. Yankee says start Colston over Dalton Schultz. Waller or Kincaid. I'm going with Colston over Schultz. And I'm going with Waller over Kincaid. No, I would go with Kincaid if he's healthy. If he plays, I would go with Kincaid over Waller. Guys, I'm moving Waller down a little bit more. When I keep thinking about Quinn Ewers, I'm just nervous. So I will go with Kincaid because of Josh Allen with him over Waller. But Colston the better tight end of all those guys. MVM says estimate Pollard, Krosky, Merritt Rodriguez, Charbonnet, please pick two. I'm in a semifinals of my Dynasty League. I'm going with Pollard. And I would say estimate if Alvin Kamara doesn't play. But if Alvin Kamara plays, I would go with Pollard and Charbonnet. Pollard and Charbonnet. The rest of the guys, like Rodriguez and Krosky-Mary, are going to be vulturing each other. Pollard has a tough matchup, but I still think he can be okay. He can get a goal line touchdown. So the guys that I'm outside of waiting until we know exactly who's going to be active or inactive, I would go with Pollard and Charbonnet. Darius T81, today's game is a great game to use your kicker theory. Right. I agree with that. Of course, big facts. You preaching, Darius. Yankee says start Zay or A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. Yankee says start Eagles D or the Saints D. Let's go with the Saints D. Ron says Hindi or GP3 in my flex. Bro, you know I'm bad with acronyms. I got so many acronyms at work because I do IT. I don't know who GP3 is, but Hindi, I'm pretty sure it is not no top 5 running back, so I'm going with Hindi over GP3. Kurtwood says Harvey or Hampton. I'm going with Hampton slightly, but if you played Harvey, would nothing be wrong with that. Clinton says Wan'Dale Robinson or Xavier Worthy. I'm going with Wan'Dale Robinson. MVM says Chase McLaughlin or Pinero. Seahawks D or Bengals D. I'm going with the Seahawks D, and I'm going with Pinero. Patriots, stop. Always with race. Stop it. I'm not even going to respond to that because ain't nobody talking about no race. We are here. We trying this. That's what you're looking for, right? That's what you're looking for. Listen, man, if I come to a channel and a guy talking about, hey, listen, man, as a white guy, I had to go over to another country, and I'm like, oh, you're white. You ain't getting no struggles? Come on, man, stop that shit, bro. Like, let's be for real. That's why people don't want to, that's why this country gonna kill each other, because nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room. Here on Fantasy Good Sports, we don't cap. Ain't no cap in our rap. Yankee says, why are you down on Kobe tonight? My opponent is starting him. Because he's a damn tight end. And when have any tight end that you could trust? All the way back to Tyler Higbee in the Super Bowl years, you can trust Tyler Higbee every week. You kind of just started Tyler Higbee, and he scored when he scored. So I just don't think Kobe Parkinson is going to line up out here and he's Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. Now, I know y'all ain't saying that, but y'all are putting him over. Like y'all said, he's a tight end 1. So I don't want to be waiting on no touchdown like I do with Likely. I know Likely ain't a tight end 1, but I like him in certain games, and I'm willing to admit that it's personal. I like Likely. I think he's a good talent. But to sit out there and think he's going to get 7 or 8 targets, if the way y'all saying playing Parkinson, he got to get 7 or 8 targets. Now, if y'all saying play him if you ain't got nobody else, then yeah, I'm willing to do that. And if he get 8 targets with that, I'm cool. But if I put that guy out there and Matthew Stafford don't target him in the red zone, and they don't give him the targets, I'm going to be disappointed. Because there's other tight ends out there that's been playing and got safe flows out there. That's the reason. Tyler Sperry says, think of Joe Burrow's last game. He laid an egg. He did. But that don't mean anything because I ain't mad at Joe Burrow. And just like y'all do Lamar, y'all ain't. That's the first guy I heard call Joe Burrow out for his egg. But I didn't hear 5, 6 people talk about Lamar. Guess what y'all was talking about? Y'all said Lamar was injury prone 3 years ago, but I don't hear nobody talking about Joe Burrow injury prone. Let's see here. Stan Steves, what's up, bro? He says Brissett, Knicks, or Stroud. Pick one, bro. Happy holidays to you and yours. I'm going with Stroud. Intelligente says Seattle has been a tight end friendly defense all season long, giving it up to the bathroom stall. Okay. Cutting edge content right there. Okay. Get Silly says full PPR, pick a flex. Breach Hall, Devontae Smith, Harvey, or Debo. I'm going with Harvey. I'm going with Harvey over those guys. Tyler Sperry says Javonte is still hurt. Okay. With that shoulder injury. All right, guys. All right, guys. Sorry about that. So look, I'm gonna try to fix up a couple of these. Uh, so we said Stan Steve's head. Javante still hurt. Kobe Parkinson tonight or Ibuka had. I would probably go with. That's tough, man. I don't believe in Ibuka gonna have a touchdown, but I would say Ibuka. But if you play Kobe, I wouldn't be mad at you for that. Okay, Pop. I wouldn't be mad at you if you went to Kobe over Ibuka because of the Ibuka situation and the half-point PPR. I think Kobe could score a touchdown, but just because Kobe's scoring a touchdown doesn't mean that he's going to be an elite tight end this week. I'm gonna say Ibuka, but you can't go wrong either way with the situation and the two players. Zalmalik says, feeling confident with my team, but my opponent has a lot of upside. Should I flex Debo Myers, Coco, or Michael Carter? I like Michael Carter as a flex. It's putting another running back who can get goal line touches in the green zone. So I would say when the Arizona Cardinals get to the green zone, this is what they're looking to do. Then Michael Wilson, then Marvin Harrison Jr., then Michael Wilson, number 2 wide receiver. I can see and he end up being a top 24 running back. Anytime a guy he's got the backfield to himself, like because no Zonovan Knight, no Trey Benson, that is a guy that you have to consider playing. So I like Michael Carter. Jay says bench Fannin or start Donovan Mitchell. Look, this is playoffs. If you got a good supporting team, Jay, I would start AD Mitchell to give you that upside because if he boom, you win the week, you go into the championship. But make sure you got a good team. If you got like a wild card team, then Fannin would be the way to play because he's gonna give you a safe floor. Maybe you only got one boom guy. But if you got about 4 boom guys on your team that can go off at any time and doing it consistently for you the whole season, then I would go with AD Mitchell. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Okay. Hi, ATD. Okay, yep. Evan's still in those talk. Okay, y'all can hear me. What's up, Dale Devoted? I see you, bruh. Yankee says, I have Burrow, but we'll need another quarterback if Higgins does not play. Show Trevor Cousins to start. Listen, man, we're going to get cutting-edge content right here. We're going with Trevor Lawrence if Higgins doesn't play. Sam Ball says, hey, bro, I really love your show. Need help. Tight end. Gaddison or Warren. We're going with Warren. Pick 3 out of these guys. Hampton, Tracy, Swift, Judkins. We're going with Judkins, Tracy, and Hampton. Monty says Dalton Schultz or Jawan Johnson. We're going with Dalton Schultz. King Sirius says, what's the common mistake you see fantasy managers make in the 4th quadrant? Great question, King Sirius. I wish I had my soundboard. That is the cutting edge question of the day. And I had a lot of great questions. Appreciate that question. I would say, King, for the 4th quadrant, getting off players too soon. And I would say that's probably the biggest thing, all quadrants. I feel like a lot of people could have had J-Mo this year, but you got off of it. I think patience is something that I would tell people to work on in off season. Work on having a player that has a great game script and staying with it even though he's not producing, like a Saquon Barkley. I'm never going to trade on Saquon Barkley as long as he's healthy and it's just the offensive coordinator stuff. Now, if Saquon has lost a step and he hopping, no, get off of him. But don't get off players just because they're not producing. Look, make sure if they're getting the touches, if they're getting 15 to 20 carries a game, but he's not scoring the touchdowns, that player, you stay with them. You don't get off those players too soon because that hurts you in the 4th quadrant. Look at the 4th quadrant players. I can name a bunch of guys for you right now. Jamison Williams. Let's see here. Let me think of some other team. A.J. Brown. Saquon Barkley. Terry McLaurin. DJ Moore. And I told people to drop DJ Moore, but if you was on him and you stayed with him, I always tell you, you go down with the ship and be okay with it. So I would say people getting off players too soon, that's the biggest mistake that I see in the fourth quadrant. Wendy says Waller, no tour, third string quarterback. You're right. I agree. That's why I say I like Waller upside. He still can have the upside game. He still can go for 20 points. Because that dude probably know he needs to target Waller, but can he not target Waller? Yes, he's a young quarterback. I get that. Kurt says, if Harrison Jr. plays, should I bench Wilson and play Sutton? Do not bench Wilson, no matter what. Don't bench Wilson. Wilson has established himself. You can't put that back in the two-pace. Tube. Yankee says, start Zay or A.J. Brown in my flex. Start A.J. Brown. My other wide receivers are Nico and J-Mo. Yeah, start A.J. Brown. Woo, bruh. You're going to have to find something. You don't want that type of firepower on your bench. That's like going to war and you leave your tank at home. Like, bro, that tank would help you win the war. You're right, Winty. AJ is it. Winty says, especially against the Commanders. Right. Daniel says, pick 2, Stafford and Dak. Winty says, Seahawks against the Stafford in the weather. Upside goes to the offense. Okay. Leo says, half point PPR, Parkinson, Bowers, or Waller. We're going with Bowers. And of the remaining 2, would you play either over Pollard at the flex? No, I wouldn't play Waller or Parkinson over Pollard. Khalid says, who do I start, Ibuka or Waddle? I would start Ibuka over Waddle. I'm sorry. That's tough, but I would do it. As my wide receiver 2, mind you, I got Mike Evans as my wide receiver 1, and I got Jameson Williams as my flex. Yeah, I would go with That's okay, because you squeeze, and I like that. So actually, it helps me get to Ibuka, because I know Baker going to throw for 2 to 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to go with Ibuka over Waddle. Wendy says Parkinson is a start. He's a start, but it depending on your matchup. I'm not saying nobody to sit him. I'm just not going to play Parkinson and expect to get that output. And listen, and I'm not going to sit here. Hello? Okay. All right, yeah, guys. I froze up a little bit. But I'm not saying Parkinson is a sit. I'm just saying I don't expect him to get them alpha targets like Trey McBride and them. I think people are trying to bump him up to that tier where I feel like he's more of a Waller tier. Gaddison or Waller? I'm going with Waller for the Gone Network. Winty says no Adams. I agree with you. I understand why you picking Parkinson. Ron says Henderson or Pickens. So I'm going with Henderson over Pickens. Sam Ball says, how do you feel about Puka? I'm thinking about sitting him due to the matchup. Ain't no way, Sam Ball, unless you in a 5-team league. I'm never sitting no Puka Nacua. B. Some says Becky, Henderson, Juckins, Corn Marks. Please pick 3. I'm going with Henderson, Bucky, and Juckins. Khalid says Loveland or Ferguson. I'm going with Loveland. Winty says Henderson, Juckins, and Bucky. Corey says Joe Burrow doesn't have an O-line. Yeah, I agree. J Mac, but he had to. You chose Jamar Chase over O-line. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't tell him you want Jamar Chase and you want to sign T. Higgins and then you complain about your offensive line. I don't want to hear that shit, Joe Burrow. They gave you got your guy. You can't have both. If somebody said you want the offensive line to be great or you want the best wide receiver in the game, you chose the best wide receiver. J-Max is 2 different leagues, half PPR, Parkinson or Jawan Johnson. I will go with Parkinson for the upside over Jawan Johnson. PPR, Strange, Hearing, or Parkinson. Shit, man, you already got him on your roster. I would say Parkinson over Hearing, who has a great quarterback, but he ain't always getting the targets at the tight end position. That's why I'm kind of all for Parkinson. Saying Strange, he's safe, but I'm going to go with Parkinson over Strange because Devontae Adams is out. That helps me be able to get to Strange with Jacoby Myers and Brian Thomas Jr. being there. So I'm going to get to Parkinson over Strange. And Henry, it just depends on if they want to target him. Henry is always a good play, but I don't know when they're going to target him. And that's how I believe about Parkinson. Is he going to get the targets? I don't know. I seen Stephon Diggs be out, and Henry still don't get the targets. Vice versa. So I'm going to go with Parkinson slightly over Strange. Wendy says he's doubtful as good as Al, hamstring, no shoulder, not shoulder. Okay. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy says, I like how it's repeating the disinformation. What you mean by disinformation, Wendy? Because one thing you ain't gonna do is come in here and start talking kind of a little bit crazy. What you mean by disinformation? Because you spamming the chat. Let me start. Pick two for my flex spots. Ted McMillan, Aaron Jones, Rico Dowdle, Shaheed. I'm going with Tet. I'm going with Tet and Rico. I'm going with Tet and Rico. Wendy says Evans still in those targets. Lisa says, hey, TD. Have PPR, Dak or Lamar, or pick up CJ. I'm going to say Lamar, but listen, Lisa, it's up to you. If you want to put CJ in, I'm not going to chastise you Monday when Lamar went off and you played CJ instead. I think CJ has a chance to be a top 5 quarterback. He could be the number 1 and play him, me personally, over Lamar, but I understand if you was to do that. Dill Devoted, what's up, bro? He's, Nico, yes, sir. Dill says a Godwin or Coker wide receiver 2. I'm going with Godwin. Coach Clutch says Stafford or Lawrence. I'm going with Lawrence. Jumping says start JJ or Travion full. I like Justin Jefferson this week. I think Justin Jefferson has a good game this week, but I can't tell nobody to sit Travion. I'm going to say tomato, but I'm going with Travion. But JJ, I would like to get him in my lineup. Lisa says, how are you feeling about Waller with a backup quarterback? Not too great, but I like his upside. Yes, names is over stats. I agree. That's a great, I'm glad you said that, Wintley. Guys, let me tell you something. Names over stats. I don't give a damn what Jacoby Brissett's stats is. In a vacuum, I'm never going to play him over no Lamar. But you look at Jacoby Brissett's stats, he looks like he's a better quarterback, and we know he ain't. Guess what? Josh Allen had 2 or 3 bad games. But guess what? I'm not playing no Marcus Mariota over no Josh Allen when he was playing on bad games. So go down, dance with the girl that you came to the party with. If you up for anything, you're not trustworthy. That means you willing to get rid of a friend because y'all argued. You ready to go and get rid of a car because it sputtered one time. You don't trust nobody. You don't have nobody on your side. You will get rid of anybody for anything that you don't like. How can you trust that person? In order in this life, guess what? Joe Burrow didn't come in. He got hurt his rookie season. They could have got rid of him, right? He sucks. Steve Young played for the Buccaneers. He didn't start. They didn't want him. Get rid of him. He should be out the NFL, right? No, it takes patience to see the development of these players and how good they're going to be. Who the hell knew that Drake May was going to do this? You see how quick now Drake May good. But what you say last year, you don't want to talk about that, do you? You don't want to talk about last year what you said because you know you didn't say anything positive or anything that was true about that player. Steve says, okay, I have Jalen, Devontae, DJ Moore, Brian T, and Pickens as receivers. I'm in the playoffs. What 2 should I use? DJ Moore and Brian Thomas Jr. I would like for you to get Pickens in your lineup, but if you can't, but this week I would play Brian Thomas Jr. against that tough matchup. Yeah, I said what I said. I like Pickens. If DJ Moore didn't have an injury to Luther Burton, I probably would be telling you to play Brian Thomas and Pickens. But right now, we have to play DJ Moore for the matchup this week. I like Brian Thomas Jr. because I think he's getting warmed up for Trevor, and that's why Trevor's been playing good because Brian Thomas is taking the top off the defense when he needs to, and he can hit Jacoby Myers with the high-low read. Listen, you can go with Pickens and DJ Moore and sit Brian Thomas Jr. because of the tough matchup he got. So I get that after me thinking, I'm like, So I would say Pickens and DJ Moore. I stand corrected. I would say Pickens and DJ Moore. Elisa says, how you feeling about Waller? Okay, we did that. Sergio says, TD, what's good, big dog? Flowers or flowers? Hey, brother, I want to tell you this, Sergio. I answered your question in the comment section. I don't know why you don't see it, bro. That's why I wanted you to email me. I was going to send you the email of me responding 2-3 hours ago. But he says, Flowers, Swift, Estimate, Vidal, Jordan, if Woody don't play. I'm going with Flowers over all those guys. BK says Lion defense tonight or Seahawks defense. I'm going with the Seahawks defense tonight over the Lions defense. Crispy says Monty versus Pittsburgh or Judy versus Buffalo. I'm going with Judy versus Buffalo. MVM says Waller, Kincaid, Strange, pick one. I'm going with Kincaid is the upside play, but Strange has the safest floor. So if you need floor, it's Strange. He's going to be safe upside. Kincaid, but the reason why Kincaid got upside is because Josh Allen. That's all it's about. Waller is a great player for fantasy, but he has a backup third-string quarterback. So I'm going to go with Kincaid for the upside or Strange for the floor. Deal says cutting edge stream Cincinnati defense this week. No, but I see why you would want to do that. I would say no. Bandit says Parkinson or Pitts. We're going with Pitts all day. Sam Boss says, would you play Jameson Williams over Puka due to the matchup? No, I'm playing Puka over Jameson Williams. I'm not sitting Puka for nothing. You can't do that, man. Listen, if you want to do it, I get it. I just don't play that way. All I can do is give you my take. That doesn't mean it's going to be right as far as the data and the numbers. I would never sit a Puka. Never. All right, guys, I'm got to get ready to get out of here, so I'm kind of just going to go through these. Tron says, my wide receivers are Nico, Olave, McLaurin, Devontae, Debo. Would you drop Debo for Emmanuel Wilson? Yes, to play him if Josh Jacobs is out, yes, I would. If Jacob misses. The only problem is Terry and Devontae play at 4 and Jacobs plays at 7. Yeah, so drop Debo. And don't worry about drop Debo. Yeah, just get the... So you says, hold on, Terry and Devontae play at 4. So yeah, it doesn't matter if Terry and Devontae play at 4. Just pick up Emmanuel Wilson and put him in for Jacobs. I'm sorry if I'm missing your question, though. Yeah, I know it's ranked. That's why I like the two defenses, but I don't care. I'm still playing Puka. I'm not going to sit Puka. But if you want to do that, Wintley, I get it. Sergio says, thank you, big dog. Anytime. Bob says Sutton or Myers or Ibuka or Swift. Hey, Myers been eating, man. I'm going with Myers. I have to give him some respect in this situation. Tron says, who should I play at the flex? McLaurin, Devontae Smith, Gainwell, Jalen Warren, Debo, Corm, or Emmanuel Wilson? Who should I play at the flex? I agree with Wintley. You should play McLaurin. Wintley says Jacob hasn't practiced the last few weeks. Lawrence is available too. Let me go up a little bit because I don't know what y'all saying. Bills D worth streaming if available. You can, but I wouldn't play them. They don't rush to passer, but they are a solid defense. I would say they top 12 this week. Just depends on what you got on waivers or what you got on your team. Jeff Rogers says Scary Terry or Jaden Reed. If Watson doesn't play, I would play Scary Terry. Light Switcher says Duval. Clinton says, is Xavier Worthy worth a start, him or Wandale? I would go with Wandale over Xavier Worthy. I would play Michael Carter over Estime. Jaguars gonna kick Texans' ass. It's possible. It's very, very possible. Says Light Switches. Jumping J says Henderson or JJ. I'm going with I'm going with Henderson. Cal Mayberry says, dude thinks he's hard. I don't know who you talking about. What guy? Jay Wells says Kincaid or Schultz. I could also pick up Knox. I would play Schultz over Kincaid. Need 3 out of 4. I'm going to go with Tracy, Judkins, and Hampton. How do you feel about Josh Jacobs? Running backs don't need to practice to be good. I was considering doing Debo for Emmanuel Wilson to play at the flex over Devontae and McLaurin. I would play McLaurin over all the other guys. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all be safe. I'll make sure none of my members see. Martin Castillo, he says, bruh, would you flex Parkinson over Genty? No. I would play Genty over Parkinson. Coco, Watson, or Reed. I wouldn't play him over any of those guys, except for me. If Watson starts, I'm not starting Watson. I would rather go with Genty or somebody else. So play Genty or Coker if you don't play Parkinson. Don't go to Watson or Reed. Even with the injury and then Reed coming back, if Watson plays, I still wouldn't want to get to him over a guy like Genty. I would play Genty. That's what I'm talking about. We in this 4 quadrant. You still got to trust the process. Genty is a running back. He's still going to get his carries in his office. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to go. I'll see y'all later. I've been live for about 2 or 3 hours now, so I got to go. Love y'all guys. Y'all be safe. Peace.